Okay, so for this part, where to find good freelancers and where to find good companies, right? To answer this question, I actually have to go outside the document. One of the platforms I recommend is Upwork. Now, Upwork is a great platform because you can see the previous work, the client's reviews towards the freelancers, and there's a lot of other things. You can see the ratings, and you can post a job. You can just see what works, what doesn't. This is mostly for the freelancers, right? So you can just go here. You can make a post, something like a post like this, and then as a client, you have a myriad of freelancers that you can go through and see their reviews, their past work, their project portfolio. And what's nice about Upwork is that unlike Fiverr, um, where you kind of focus on one person, you have a lot of options. And sometimes people would offer you, like, hey, you know what? I can build you a prototype just to see what my skills are. Or I can do this, or I can do that for free, just to initiate the project, or just to get to work with you. So this is the platform that I really, really recommend. I do not recommend Fiverr, unfortunately, because, like I said, we have a couple of clients coming from Fiverr, and they have complained about developers there. You could also ask your friends. So one of the things that also is reliable, slightly more expensive. You can see your network. You can check with your friends, see with your network, and see if there are some kind of if there's some person that can solve your problem, if somebody has already worked with that person because you already know that, well, if they work for your friend or your family, and they deliver good work, you know they'll probably deliver good work to you as well. But like I said, slightly more expensive. Now, when it comes to businesses, there's a couple of ways to approach this. So one of the ways you can go down to the mouse, which I do not recommend. But another creative way is actually networking events. So if we go to meetup.com, right? Depending where you are. So in Dubai, there's quite a lot of networking events, but in Sharjah, in different places, like let's say in Malaysia, in Bali, you might see a little bit less of events. But nevertheless, business events, B2Bs, um, what else? Technical events, especially tech events, by the way, is a really good place to find companies that'll be able to solve your issue. Because number one, you can speak directly to the founders, to the stakeholders, to the people working there. And another thing that's great as well is that once you see them in real life and you see where the office is, you've met them in real life, you've seen what works they can do. If they try to, if their work is not up to par, if they've done something wrong, you know where the office is. You can visit them, you can complain. There's a lot more leverage here than if you were to offshore it. But generally, again, with these networking events, it's more expensive, but this is something that I recommend because, well, it's easier. It's much easier. It's much easier to pick the right company. It's much easier to see if the person knows what they're talking about. It's much easier to um, work with that information because, again, if you're working with offshore companies, you get much less information. The communication is usually the main problem, and time zones is also an issue. So here is a great way to find companies in your locality. And ironically, why I'm getting this, I don't know why. But yeah, that answers the question.